Well, the saga has finally come to an end. After it came to an end in Revenge of the Sith. But whatever, this is the sequel trilogy, it's the last movie. Let's talk about it. Hey everyone, it's Alexander, the real Mr. Robinson, and this is my review for Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker, which is the third and final film in the Star Wars sequel trilogy, the ninth film overall in the Skywalker saga, and the big closing film. So I'm just going to give you a basic plot summary right here. The movie takes place sometime after the events of The Last Jedi, and it's basically the Resistance's final push to defeat the First Order once and for all, led by Supreme Leader Kylo Ren. And things get a lot more complicated with the return of the legendary Sith, Emperor Palpatine. So I'm going to do something that I've never done on this channel before, or maybe I have, but never for a movie this big. I'm just going to give you my rating right now. I'm going to be doing a spoiler review for this movie further down the line, probably after Christmas, like I did with The Last Jedi 2 years ago. But I want to just get my rating out of the way, just tell you guys what I think about The Rise of Skywalker. So, the rating for The Rise of Skywalker that I would give it is good, but not great. There's a lot about this movie that is just so frustrating. This is a big movie, and when I mean big, I mean it is like massive in terms of scope, plot, and sometimes it can lead to some really intriguing moments, especially with the opening and the setup to Palpatine's return. I actually thought it was pretty cool and legitimately creepy at points, but sometimes there's so much going on that you almost get lost. This is a very simple plot when you get right down to it. Star Wars at its core, even though I do love The Last Jedi, is a very simplistic type of idea, good versus evil, and this movie really, it's complicated to the point where it almost becomes a mess from time to time. Now, speaking of The Last Jedi, I know a lot of people are wondering if J.J. Abrams really did retcon what The Last Jedi established, and for me personally, I think it depends on which aspects you are willing to look at. In some ways, he kind of does, but in other aspects, no, he stays very faithful to what Rian Johnson did in the last movie, which could either work for some people or not work for some people. I think it's ultimately up for debate. I still like the characters this time around. Rey, Finn, Poe Dameron all have great dynamics, and it's good that they're all together on this adventure, which is something that really didn't happen in the last two movies. Adam Driver once again delivers as Kylo Ren, who I still think is a really good villain. And in this movie, he's probably even more dangerous than he was last time because now he's Supreme Leader. And I ultimately like what they did with his story. I like how this movie does a lot more with C-3PO than any other Star Wars movie has done beforehand, maybe since A New Hope. And I do like Naomi Ackie. She's the newcomer in this movie, playing this character, Jenna, and she's likable, she has a great personality, and I won't say much else about her character. But then you have some other characters in this movie, like Rose, Maz Kanata, General Hux, and even Lando Calrissian. They don't really get a whole lot to do, and it's great to see Billy D. Williams back in this role, and he's still great as ever as Lando, but ultimately he doesn't have a lot to do this time around. The action scenes are fun, nothing too spectacular, but sometimes they can be very intense and put you on the edge of your seat, and sometimes there are just too many action scenes here, which leads into another issue I had with the movie. Once it starts, it immediately makes the jump to hyperspace and doesn't stop. There isn't a whole lot of time to breathe to allow further character development. There is some here and there, especially with Rey, but after a while, you just get kind of exhausted. And again, there's just so much to take with this movie that you kind of wish that they had slowed things down, because this really, in a way, feels like it should have been more than just one movie. I don't know. If I'm going to wrap things up right here, I already gave you my rating, good but not great. There's a lot that I like about this movie, there's a lot that I dislike about this movie, and then there's some parts that just kind of leave me confused. Is this the worst Star Wars movie out there? No, not even close. It's more middle-tier Star Wars for me. I ultimately like Revenge of the Sith more than I did this movie, and it's certainly the weakest of the sequel trilogy. But it's got its good moments, and I think the way this movie ends it ends on a nice note. I'm planning to see this movie a couple more times so I can be fully prepped when I give you my spoiler review, so my opinion on multiple viewings could easily change, but right now, I liked it. Didn't love it, but it's definitely enjoyable. And there you go, that's my review for Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker. Again, my spoiler review is probably not going to be up until after Christmas because I've got a lot to do, whether it's the holidays in general or just other videos to make, but you will absolutely see my spoiler review. If you guys waited for at least 2 months to see my spoiler review for Avengers Endgame, I think you guys can wait a couple weeks for my review for this movie. And now I want to know what you guys think about the movie. If you've seen it, what did you think? Whatever the case may be, let me know in the comments below. If you have seen this movie already, please don't post spoilers in the comments below because the movie isn't even out yet. Give people a chance to see it. And until next time, I hope you enjoyed this review. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, give this video a like, leave a comment, support my Patreon page, follow me on social media, and until then, this is the real Mr. Robinson telling you there's only one.